Alrighty, welcome to Summit Van's BAMA van. This thing is sick. It's got a heap of hectic lighting going on, and it's got some cool things in regards to 240 appliances like washing machines. We'll go through the lighting stuff first. So you've got our warm white with our touch dimmable buttons in all the overheads. Now we've laid out all the buttons so that they can be accessed without jumping onto the bed. We've got kickboard lighting that is dimmable, so I can turn that right down. And you can basically use that as a night light. We've got something special in this van. These are an Element 3 product. These ones were a special order. I'll just turn them off so we can see them quite nicely. These are the downlights. So with Element 3 battery technology, we've released the lighting range. The lighting range has got reading lamp strip lights, tricolor strip lights, downlights in two sizes, touch dimmable and then exterior dimmer. We're gonna go through that all on a later video. I'm just gonna show you these ones. So again, like I said, these ones are a special order, but these are a white 75mm external dimmer downlight. Usually standard color for these will be black trim ring. So you got 4 in the back bank and you got 4 at the front bank. So we press the button. These dimmers here, these are a dual color touch dimmer. So click it once to turn them on. We can adjust, so that's our cool white, and then we can turn it all the way to amber, okay? And then we double click and we can dim. So this is the exact same function as the external lights. And then I click it again and we can change it back to our white, and then you meet in the middle and it gives you quite a nice warm white. We've got our standard or tricolor. So these are, you can either have these set at full amber, full cool white, or you can have them both set amber and the cool white LED to make a warm white, and then they're fully dimmable in 10% increments on each color. So you've got a full range of motion there between amber and cool white. In the garage area, we've got the garage lights standard, and then we've got the BAJA squadrons up the top. So you've got 2 squadrons. This one is switched from the rear here. The one on the left is actually switched from a switch next to the passenger seat. We've got shower temp, we've got our fill valve, we've got our garage lighting switch, USB A and C, and then a 240 point at the back here. 12 volt TV, Sirocco fan. I'll go through a whole heap of the switches at that control panel. This is more getting into some of the appliances, and then we'll show you all the 240 stuff. I'll just turn that back up. Full Victron system in this van. As you can see, stock standard Victron servo display. We're going to turn that to on so it gives power for all our inverter appliances. We've got double alternator, so 2 alternators, so you can get up to 100 amps of DC charge whilst you are driving. We've got 3 180 watt solar panels on the roof, plus we've got a ground array input, so a 20 amp solar input for the ground blanket array. And then there is also a third panel that is a small little like 45 watter, which is sort of up behind me here, and the solar controller for it is actually under the driver's seat, because this van has the electric door and it runs off the starter battery. So that little 45 watt panel on the roof is an extra, which is purely there to just trickle charge the starter battery when they're parked up for long periods of time. So it's got another little 20 amp Victron solar controller in there, and it just trickle charges the starter battery. Obviously you can control everything through here. It's got a 3 kVA MultiPlus, which will surge to 5,500 watts. It'll run a constant 2400, no worries at all. We've got 2 350 amp hour batteries, so it's got a full 700 amp hour battery system. We'll show you all that in a sec. We've got our 3 tank levels, so 90 litres of fresh with our front and rear, and then you've got a 45 litre grey tank, and then there's no temps on this one. We've got 240 throughout the van, benchtop power, 240 at the other benchtop, which also doubles up as the plug-in for the washing machine. So that's how we're getting power to that. as well as giving them above bench power. There is a power point to power up their oven, and then there's also an exterior power point under here, so it gives them power out the back. And then you've also got one in the garage, which I showed you before. The fridge is a full 12 volt fridge. Then we've got other things like diesel heater. This is their new black screen from the Diesel Heat Australia. USB sockets up here. All these switches, grey water drain and hold for the plumbing system, fresh water draw valve, so depending where you want to draw your water from, your front fresh or your rear fresh. Your shower exhaust fan. So behind me, shower exhaust fan. While I'm in here, I just want to show you something as well. I've got the diesel heater on because it's quite cold this morning. So we've got an air outlet here, which turns this into a drying room. Again, special order because it is white, but an element 3 downlight. That's in the amber setting. It's lighting up the whole area. Now, these are touch color changing and touch dimmable. So if we go to the warm white setting, look at how much light that thing gives off. And then we can hold it down and it is dimmable. And it is dimmable in each setting, and it is memory. So if we go cycle back through and go to the warm white, it'll come back as it was dimmed, how we dimmed it. Now we turn that all the way back up to full brightness. That's it on. And that's it off. So they're 8 watt, 125 mil diameter. Again, they usually come in black. It's just a special order for these guys to have it in white. Wi-Fi, so they've got Starlink Mini on the roof. That's just to turn that on and off. And then they've also got in the back of the benchtop here where the oven is, there's some little exhaust fans just behind this vent that you can control from here just to help get rid of the heat. And now we get to the fun part for you Victron lovers. I'm going to show you the Victron system and where the batteries are in the van. The batteries are in this section. You've got two 350 amp hours stacked in there. And now this is where all the magic happens. So you've got your two DC chargers over there. You've got your solar chargers down the bottom there with your solar circuit breakers. And then you've got your shunt down here, and then your inverter charger, circuit breaker, all your fuses neatly labeled. And then up the back, this is where you've got all your AC circuit breakers. So you can just reach in and flick those circuit breakers. You just see the MultiPlus hiding away up the back there. And then the other blue unit up here, that's our DC converter for the Starlink. DC chargers, when we're running 2 on the Sprinters, we always hook up the ignition wire, so they're just on and off. They don't look at the voltage at all, because when you're running 2, you run into voltage drop issues, and that's the only way to do it properly. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.